This is the Horse Radio Network. This is episode 141 of Horse Tip Daily, a different horse tip, a different equine topic, a different equestrian expert every day. Horse Tip Daily brings the world of equine knowledge to you one day at a time. Enjoy today's tip. I am Glenn the Geek from Lexington, Kentucky, and you're listening to Horse Tip Daily. Well, today we have back with us Heather Blitz, who is one of the co-hosts on the Dressage Radio Show. I don't think we've had her on in a while, so it's nice to have her back with her tips. She's always popular. You know, we share Heather's training tips with you every week that she's on because they are so darn good. Heather is a professional dressage rider now living in Florida. This is Heather's tip from episode 37 of the Dressage Radio Show, along with co-host Chris Stafford. If you'd like to listen to the whole show, go to dressageradio.com. Well, here's Heather's tip.
Well, a tip about what the warm-up at a show should be used for, in my opinion. And it came to my mind because I was just at the show this weekend and saw some, it's been over a year since I've shown. I haven't not been in the show ring. So that was another reason this was a little challenging to be debuting Paragon. Anyway, just looking around a little bit at some of the people and what they're doing in their warm-ups, and it just made me think that I would advise you to think about your warm-up at the show not as an opportunity to train your horse. I think, by the time you're there, the training should be done, at least for the level that you're competing. And you should think about going in the warm-up as a way to get your horse centered and focused. And, of course, his muscles and ligaments and his body warm and feeling in a physical way the way it should. But as far as going through movements or training, educating your horse, try to go to the show when you feel like the education portion is done. So when you get to the show, it's really just a matter of getting a sort of a physical state that's ready to go in the show ring.
Talking about the physical state of the horse, that's one aspect, and I think it may be a good example for someone like yourself who's been out of the competition arena for a while. Heather, is there any sort of mental preparation that you have? Are you someone that gets nervous, or is it just nervous excitement or anticipation? And how do you deal with the psychological preparation for competition?
Well, I usually have I'm so busy and so much going on that I don't have a lot of time to stew about what's going to happen, and that's probably a good thing. If I do think about it a lot, it's usually when I'm sort of getting ready to go to bed and my mind wanders in ways that I don't necessarily want it to. If I get nervous at all, I have more anxiety about going out and anxiety as far as excitement or looking forward to it because I love to compete, and I just get excited about going, and I want it all to go well, and I can't wait for it. I think in general, I know we're all different, and I have a lot of experience showing, so I don't need to run through my test over and over. I don't need to, really worry about, am I going to memorize what to do, or if I know what will happen with me and my horse when I'm at the show. So I like to just kind of put off thinking about much of it in general until when I get there, until, just a few minutes before. And I might make sure that there isn't a lot of noise around, that if I'm tacking up my horse or if my groom is tacking up my horse, that we both know exactly how we want it to be done and there aren't any surprises, and that if it's just me, I do groom for myself a lot, or if I have a groom working for me, that everything is going to go, all the equipment is ready and clean, and how we saddle the horse and what pads we put on, what girths, just as long as all that stuff is organized and there aren't going to be any surprises and I don't have to worry about finding this or that. Those sorts of things can get me distracted. But as long as everything is prepared like that, then I just try to stay in the moment and start the warm-up and stay in that moment as much as I can until it's ready to ready to start getting, polished to go in the ring, then I might run through my test a little in my head and then go in. But if I prepared too many days ahead of time, I think I could almost, psych myself up into thinking that, oh my gosh, what if I don't do this? What if I don't do that? So I just leave that kind of negative stuff out of my head, along with much of the preparation at all, until a little bit towards the last minute. And then I can just think about the positive things and make it go that way.
And do you think this is something that comes with experience, being able to manage the psychological effect of competing, or is it part of somebody's nature, Heather? Have you always been like this?
I've always been like this, and I don't know if you're a person with a lot of show nerves, I don't know if just going out there a number of times would actually make it better. It could actually almost make it worse. If you go out and you have a lot of negative anxiety about it, and then you go out and you actually get a negative experience, then I think the next time you come out, you've just doubled, the worry and the negative side. So there's sports psychology help that can definitely be looked into. And if you're a person out there with, big issues on how to prepare for the show, and it just makes you so nervous that you can't eat for a week before, or, you just can't take the pressure, then, I would definitely advise looking into some sports psychology. It's available in many forms, many ways. And, I think probably necessary more than just experience. But so the more you have good experiences, then maybe the anxiety can back down, go away, hopefully.
Because that energy, if you have any negative energy or anticipation, obviously it's going to affect your core muscles and your general relaxation when you're riding to be effective, obviously, isn't it? At some level, it's going to be conveyed to the horse.
Well, sure, it'll change the physical state of your own body, and definitely how how it would affect how you make decisions on what you should do with your horse. So each moment something comes up, and if you're more anxious, then you would maybe be a little less compassionate. You might be a bit more, tense with your horse, or less forgiving, maybe when you wouldn't have been at home. And the effects can go on and on and on, and just, multiply and feed off of each other. So it's really important that you do either have it as a natural state in you, or that you learn how to go in the show ring in a very peaceful mindset. You have to be intense, but you have to do it with a balance of a relaxation about it, and a calm focus, and to be able to think very clearly and know what's going on around you, but definitely know what's going on within you and your horse.
Well, thank you to Heather and Chris. And as I said, you can listen to that entire episode on episode 37 of the Dressage Radio Show at dressageradio.com. And I wanted to remind everybody that you can subscribe to the show. That's the easiest way to do it, through iTunes or Zune, and get all your daily tips automatically downloaded to your iPod, Zune, or MP3 player. You just go to 2010radioshow.com and click on the iTunes or Zune button. It will launch your player there, and it'll automatically say, do you want to subscribe? And you hit yes, and then you'll be getting the subscription to the show automatically download to your iTunes every time you open it, and then you can just plug in your iPod, and it'll sync up, and you'll be good to go. You can listen to us while you're cleaning stalls, driving to work, whatever you like to do. And don't forget to check out all the other great shows on the network at horseradionetwork.com. I'll be back again tomorrow with another new expert and a different horse tip. Until then, stay safe, everyone.